Hi, my name is Garrett Brown. I'm an educator for ACE Medi-Cupping. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one of our machines. This is the MD-600. Now the MD-600, you'll notice, looks very similar to the MC-600. It's got the same kind of design layout. It is a little smaller though and a lot lighter. And I just kind of wanted to go over the hoses that came with it and talk a little bit about the new machine. So, with this machine, it comes with a lot of my favorite things about the MC-600. The simplicity of the design, the controls, the gauge, and it's just a very simple light design. It works well. Those are my favorite things about the MC-600. We've got that again in the MD, which this is the MD. But it comes with the cup set of the MM-600. And I love the cups for the MM-600, so it's kind of combining two parts of the best things that I appreciate and enjoy about the machines that we offer. So first off, you'll notice the cord is detachable. It does not stay on the machine, so you can remove it, and the fuse is connected back here with a master switch. Where the master switch is, this is just mainly on and off, and just below that right here is the fuse compartment. So if you take off that little cap right above that, if the machine's not working, it does come with extra fuses. You can pop that off, check, see if your fuse is popped, replace it, put your cord back on, and it should go back to working. If you have any problems, of course, reach out to ACE. So now something else that's very important to point out, of course, it's got the two knobs just like on the MC-600. However, it is labeled a little differently. As you can see, both knobs say intensity. The knob underneath the pressure gauge controls the amount of vacuum pressure you're using. The knob on the right side of the machine with all the little sayings like face rhythm 2, body rhythm, breast lifting treatment, that controls the suction and release time. Now, I don't care for the names on this. It should just be labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you turn the knob all the way counterclockwise, that turns it to 1. That's 1 second in, 1 second out. Of course, turn it back clockwise 1 notch. That's 2. That's 2 seconds pull in, 2 seconds release. 3, 4, 5, and 6, repeating that pattern. And of course, just like the MC-600, if you remove the hose connection, there is a little filter underneath it that the machine comes with extra filters. You can replace that filter if it's getting dirty. And besides the master power switch on the back, there are 2 switches above the faceplate at the top of the machine. The one on the left is the main power on and off for the vacuum itself. The one on the right is, of course, the suction and release that is controlled here. Now, for the basic operation of the machine, that's kind of how the switches and the controls are worked out. The biggest difference between this and the other 2 machines is it comes with 2 bifurcated hoses. The first one is a nice long bifurcated hose. It has 2 large ends that your cup's attached to. And those are the cups that are the handheld, the smaller cups. So you can use 1 or 2. If you want to use 1, you just have to use your thumb to cap over the other hose so you can use 1, or vice versa. You can also, instead of using the suction release on the machine, you can take 1 cup and use your thumb to kind of suction and release. Now, to attach this to machine, go out to the long end of it, and of course it just goes directly on the machine. Now, don't force this all the way down on the machine. It just has to go down about 1/4 of an inch on it, push very gently. Now, I don't recommend leaving this connected overnight like that, because over time it will stretch out the end, because you're going to put this hose on and off. Because when you're not using this hose, you're going to swap, like if you want to use the large breast cups, you will swap to the second hose, which is another bifurcated hose, which has smaller connections for the breast cups, the larger breast cups. This hose, go out to the long end, attaches the exact same way to the machine. Now, there is a third hose that comes with the machine. It doesn't have any ends on it. It's just a straight piece of hose, about 4 foot long or so, 3.5, 4 feet. However, if you wish to use this hose, and there's some great options for this to give you more length to use for these hoses, because when you attach these hoses on and off, be careful pushing on the faceplate of the machine. Because if you're just forcing down it all the time, we don't want you to crack the faceplate or anything, so just barely put it down on it. Well, this hose, it will give you a couple of options. ACE sells these little filters. Now, what we can do with this Now this is an option you can purchase separate and allows you to use this hose. Now what I like to do, and this is the way I set up my machine, is I'll attach one end of this hose to the machine, of course just like we did the other two. Just kind of gently push it down on there so it's nice and attached. That automatically gives me this much working space, that 4 feet. Then I'll take one of the filters and I'll put on the end of that. Now what this does, and I make sure I have that part of the filter up, that allows me to see when it gets dirty so I can replace it as necessary. Now what this will allow me to do, and again the filter is a separate purchase through ACE. We have it on our website under Medi-Cupping under accessories. Now I never have to take this hose off. It doesn't matter if that end kind of wears into that. It can stay on there forever if we need it to. What I would do now is, since this has another end there, I can take either one of my bifurcated hoses, take the long end, and now put it on the end of my filter just like this. And that gives me just a lot of working hose so I can work around the table. And that goes for both hoses. Of course, both hoses will go on and off this very easily. Don't force it on, twist and pull to get it off. Don't bend it sideways. And again, just like with the machine, if you go with this route, I don't recommend leaving it overnight. And of course, the larger diameter hose goes right on as that. Now one thing this machine doesn't come with is a straight hose at the current time. You never know, we may add one in later, but as it currently stands, it doesn't. So another option, and it's probably one of my favorite things ACE carries for the bifurcated hoses, are a set of clamps for the bifurcated hoses. Now even if I had a straight hose, I still love this because it gives me so much more control over my hoses and whatnot. So for the big white one, goes on the one with the hose, of course, with the large ends. You just kind of spread it open really nice and wide, feed one of the bifurcations through the hole, and of course out the other side of the clamp through the center of it. That way, if I want to use 2 cups, I leave the clamp open. I can use both cups. If I want to use 1 cup, I just clamp it off. And I have gone before to where I'm using 2 cups, and then it just easy releases with that little flip of the thumb. It's back released. I have been using 2 cups and want to swap to 1. This is where I really love it, because I'll be using 2 and I'm like, okay, I want 1 now. Now I've got 1 and I've got a straight hose because one side of the bifurcation is blocked off. I love the hose clamp option. It just gives me so much versatility. And of course the little blue clamp goes with the other bifurcated hose. Again, spread it nice, wide and open. Take one side of the bifurcation, feed it right through the clamp, through one side, out the other, of course. And then that gives you the same control over this hose. So that's why I really enjoy the hose clips. It just gives me a lot of versatility, because if I want to use my thumb to control it, I still can. If I just want a straight hose, I can clamp it down. I love the clamps. They give me so much versatility. So enjoy your new machine. I hope this explanation has been very helpful for you. If you like what I've said, check out my online classes on the ACE Institute, and check me out on my live classes, my level 1 and level 2.